What up, my people? ¿Qué pasa, mi gente? Welcome, bienvenidos to another episode, otro episodio de Hoy En Día TV. I am host and producer Yessie Rodriguez, and I'm going to bring on to the stage my amazing co-hosts. We have Nadine Barton, author, entrepreneur, actress, etc. She does a lot just like I do. Hey, welcome, Nadine. ¿Cómo estás? Uh-oh, let me unmute you, mama. Oh, no, I can't unmute you. You got to unmute yourself.
Oh, there you go. Happy Thursday. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Happy Thursday. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm great. I'm having a glorious day. I mean, it's been raining here all week.
I believe it. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, on this end, so far, it's been shiny and, sunny and shiny and bright. So I love it. I'm going to bring on Cece, my other amazing co-host with Hoy En Día TV, Dr. Cece Andra, the actionist, author, entrepreneur, also actress. We see her on some of the Collective Vision skits. Welcome, Cece. ¿Cómo estás? If you're talking, you're on mute, ma'am.
What's going on with us tonight? We've all been on mute.
Uh-oh. Cece, are you there? Hello? Hola. Hi. Oh, well, maybe she stepped away. All right. Well, Nadine, you and I carry on the show. So guess what? We're trying something new today, right? So I finally worked on the stream key for Instagram. Right now, I'm looking at the live. All you're really seeing is like our faces. I'm not really vibing with it, but we'll make it work. We'll make it work. We'll see how it all rolls out. Also, it looks like, just a heads up, similar. I don't know what it is. I feel like there's always some sort of technical issue because looks like even my stream on Facebook says that it's really not working either. So for those who are trying to listen to us,
see if mine is working, because I stream mine to Facebook as well. Oh, mine is live on Facebook.
Perfect. So I'm going to share from yours because I don't know. I think what happened is probably it threw it off.
I can hear Nadine, but I can't hear Yessie. Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, now we can hear you, Cece.
There you are. Hello.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be dropping in and out just because of the area in which we're in. But yes, I see you all and hear you all.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, Nadine. So what I'm going to do is I'll just go ahead and share yours. But what I'm doing now is I'm quickly deleting it and re-adding it just to see if it'll work. So let's see. Mm-hmm. Oh, it looks like that might have worked. Let's see. But hey, we have an amazing guest today who is patiently waiting for us behind the stage. But before we bring on our guest, we're going to do some trending topics, right? So there's a lot that's been happening this past week. For those who are not aware, there's a recent post about the NC General Assembly, House Bill 1232, which pretty much is really interesting. Like I even went to the ncleg.gov and looked up this bill. Is regarding life at fertilization. And this is actually hot off the press as of May 14th. So pretty much what it says is it says abortion is considered a capital punishment, Constitution NC, crimes of death and dying. And so pretty much is saying that if a woman gets an abortion, then that's considered capital punishment. Let me read the actual bill itself here. I have it in front of me. House Bill DRH 10579-NJ, lowercase y-55. And here, this is stamped House Principal Clerk as of May 13th. And why I'm sharing all these details is for you all. If you want to do your research just like I do, you have all the details. You can go ahead and research it on your end as well. Because here with Hoy En Día, we're about facts. We do our research. We want to make sure that the information we're providing to you is accurate, is what we are finding based on our research, right? And so with that, it's regarding the life of fertilization. The sponsor is actually Representative Kidwell. And this bill pretty much says, in a nutshell, that human life begins at the moment of fertilization and shall be held inviolate as an individual person and protected by the laws of this state from the moment of fertilization until natural death, so long as that person is not convicted of a capital offense. It is a matter of indisputable scientific fact that a distinct and separate human begins at the moment of fertilization. And pretty much, like I shared earlier, in a nutshell, it is going to be considered like people can do jail time. So what are your thoughts about that, ladies? Like, that's a lot. Like, I'm getting a lot of mixed emotions as a woman, right? And I'm curious to hear your thoughts about that.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting topic and article, to say the least. When you had sent it out, I didn't read it fully, but I was reading some of the comments, and oh boy, it was so overwhelming. And at the same time, what about the grape victims?
Right.
And I mean, it's just a lot to unpack. You know what I mean? So it's pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know why they're passing that bill, or maybe, I don't know.
Right. No, I agree, sis. It's one of those things where it's like there are individuals who have different circumstances. I was also reading some of the posts also. And one woman's concern was, what about health, right? Some babies, depending on how they're fertilized, can create health risks for women, where women can possibly die at childbirth. So what about those situations, right? And like you said, rape victims as well. There's just so much that can come from this. And I really feel for just for a lot of women. Like, I feel like they're taking part of our rights away. I mean, I get it, it's considered because it's pro-life, and I respect that. I'm not here to judge anybody. You do you. At the end of the day, it's between you and God. I'm not God. I'm going to accept people for who they are based on their choices, because we're all different, right? But why take that choice away from somebody? That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Cece, do you have any thoughts on that? I'm not sure if you can hear us. I know you're traveling.
She fell off.
Oh, she fell off again. Oh, there she is. Oh,
Yeah,
Cece,
I read the bill. I mean, it's just like a 2-page document. Technically a 2-page, but it's really one that has all the writing on it. And there's not a lot. It's very brief. It's very kind of concise language. There's really no, I didn't see like any leeway. I'm definitely pro-life, but I do believe that the bill needs some work. Because it seems like it's just a double-edged sword. It's like you said, the woman can't have the abortion, but if she does, then they're gonna kill the woman. So it doesn't go. You know what I'm saying? It's a life for a life. So it's like an eye for an eye, almost. And that just doesn't. I'm like, no, like, you can't do that, because all life is precious, right? Mm-hmm. And I do believe that life begins at fertilization, right? Because I'm a firm believer in the Bible. It starts, right, when the sperm and the egg and all that is. Hey, there's life on the scene. I don't care what we want to call it, what kind of language you want to put on it, but I feel like we're kind of regressing and going back in time. And yes, like you're saying, like, our rights and things being taken away, and it seems like that's happening more and more. And women, we've had to fight to vote. We've had to fight for so many things: equality, equal pay, so many different things. And so this is something, it has not passed yet. The first part of it kind of went through, so they still got to come back and vote on some things. But I definitely know people got to go out. Something has to be done with the language, absolutely, because when you go and you read it, it's very, very short. Like, you're like, what? So I don't agree, with the whole eye for an eye. And there's special, stipulations. And like you said, like, we're no one's judge. At the end of the day, God is our judge. God gives us life. He's the creator of life, right? So no man should be able to take your life except God. That's my belief, right? Because he's the creator of it, so he can take it. He owns all rights to it, full out. But yeah, this bill is something, and it's interesting because, if this does get passed, other states are going to follow. You know what I'm saying? And then what? So.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing too, like, another aspect of it, because they said they're passing the bill to prevent you from doing it, right? Correct? It's am I right, Yessie?
It really doesn't. I mean, it'll prevent you from having an abortion, but the why behind it, to me, it just gives me control. Somebody's trying to control, right? Yeah. And especially because the sponsor is a man. The man who doesn't have his language periods, right? They don't deal with childbirth. And because of women, that's why men are here, because the man came through a woman's birth canal, right? So that's what's really frustrating me too, is that the whole simple fact that individual the sponsor came from a woman, and now you are doing this to women.
Yeah. And I was also thinking about
Go
what
ahead again.
about I was can you hear me? Yeah. Yes, see. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yep.
So I was also thinking about what about the men who, you know, do it unprotected, right? And they're saying, telling the woman, because now it seems like they're gonna even create a lot more single parents, single families. Because what about the men that used to tell the women, "Oh, you have to go have an abortion. I don't want to have anything to do with the kid." What about that? And then now
Yeah.
she can't because she didn't want to die. Then she's gonna be by herself with a kid.
I like that you mentioned that part, Nadine, because the onus is on both. It's on the male and the female, right? They just want to like put all this on women and like put all the blame on us and make us go jump through these hoops and do all these things. But there, it takes two, right? So that husband or the boyfriend or whomever, right? They should be held equally accountable. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because a woman cannot get pregnant by herself. I mean, I know we got in vitro and all that stuff, but you still need sperm at the end of the day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're doing a lot of things with technology and all of this stuff, but I'm just saying, old Mother Nature way, okay? So it takes two. So the onus is on both. This reminds me kind of like of the Bible day. I mean, it's still Bible day today, but like way, way back when, right? If people sinned, like if they were caught in adultery or something like that, like the woman was taken out, and the people were stoned. You know what I'm saying? And so I think, the men, they play a part too. So yeah, this bill, when you read it, there's nothing speaking about men at all. It's all about the woman, right?
So
And this
here's
isn't
another
right.
here's
There,
another
it
thing
takes
too, another catch-22 CC about that. What about the women out there that are loose, and if they try to hold a guy accountable and he's like, well, that's not my child, how do I know that you didn't sleep with somebody else? You know what I'm saying? So it's so many aspects to this thing, you know what I mean? If you're going to be holding the guy accountable or whatever the case is. So now those guys got to think about, hey, if y'all don't want to be in a relationship or not be intentional with a person, y'all better wrap it up, because they're passing this bill and y'all gonna be held accountable too.
And see, that's why I don't know if y'all remember me a few months ago talking about mandatory birth control. Remember, I was sharing that, and some of y'all were like, "Oh yeah, you can't make women." Not
Yes, see,
necessarily forcing a woman. The woman would have to have a child.
choppy. Is it just me or your connection is choppy? Is it my connection? Because you were breaking up.
I'm not sure.
it was breaking up, but I thought maybe it was my connection, maybe. But yeah,
I
it
can
was
see
choppy.
y'all. Yeah, I can see y'all just fine. So I'm not sure what's happening. It could be because I'm connected to Instagram now. So it could be. Do you hear me okay though?
Yeah, it's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. No, so the whole concept of the birth control, the option, right? Yeah, I get some people are like, well, you can't make it mandatory, which is fine, but give the woman the option. And then the option is, if they're not on birth control, then if you do have a child, you're not going to be depending on no government, right? You're not going to be, it's going to be between you and the father or whoever the other person is that got you pregnant, to make sure y'all become responsible parents. Right? It's two, like y'all were saying, it takes two to tango. The woman doesn't get pregnant by herself, but at least that'll give more women the option to be considered like, okay, maybe I should get on birth control, versus doing this right here, where it's like the consequences could be huge, right? It could be redefined personhood from fertilization. Abortion could be treated like a homicide. So that includes jail time. Also, doctors could become afraid to provide pregnancy care. IVF and fertility care could become legally complicated. Miscarriage and stillbirth could face more scrutiny, and it could override or conflict with existing abortion exceptions. In addition to, it would put the decision in the voters' hands. That's tough. It could also trigger major lawsuits. So there's just a lot that can come from this bill that I really hope that these individuals that are even entertaining this take it into consideration.
You know, and on that same token, I was here chatting. My brother's here in the back here with me, and he was talking about, you know, having sex education be taught in schools again, because, you know, they don't teach that in schools anymore. And I know a lot of parents aren't having those conversations with their kids because it's awkward and they feel uncomfortable and all that kind of stuff. But when you learn about your body, the reproductive system, and all the other systems, right, it's good for students to learn that, because that might be the only education that they get versus going online and watching pornography or hearing people say stuff, you know, their friends, you know, they don't know. So having that quality education to talk about, you know, sex education, they can call it whatever, reproductive education, whatever they want to call it, but children need to be, even adults, right, we need to be educated, right, on how to you know, how the body, you know, reproduces and does all the things, and all the STDs that can come from it. I remember having that conversation in school, and those STDs, they show you those pictures, and it is gross. It'll scare you straight, right? So I think too, we might need to implement that back into our educational system again. So that way, as children, you know, teenagers, as they're growing, you know, hopefully they'll make better choices. You know what I'm saying? And maybe have the birth control as an option, right?
Why did they remove it from the school?
Just like they remove prayer from schools, just like they're removing certain books from school libraries, just like they're removing teaching, you know, Black history. It's all political, right? So that's the best reason, truly. And people are voting on this stuff to take it out, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Susie. And I agree. It's yeah, that's why I've noticed a lot more parents are deciding to do homeschool, because a lot of the morals and values within the school system, not all of them, but the majority, are just not there anymore like it used to be when we were growing up and being raised. So it's good to see as a parent that I'm witnessing more parents taking that control to make sure that their children get the best education, the best of everything, because that's how it should be, right? You want your kids to be better than you as a parent. So, but I agree with you. Someone should put that into law to say, hey, let's bring back prayer session. Let's bring back sex education. Let's make sure our students coming out of our school system are fully prepared for what's ahead and what's in the future. So, yeah. All right, we're going to transition topics real quick. More on a positive note, because we have a guest who is patiently waiting behind the scenes and brings an array of talent, like between different industries. I'm truly excited to bring this guest on. But I was coming across earlier a post that really resonated with me. And some of these inspirational quotes that I want to share with y'all today says, becoming the best version of yourself comes with a lot of goodbyes. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've experienced that. I've experienced a lot of goodbyes, and a lot of when you look around, you're like, oh, what happened to that person, right? They just stopped talking to you out of nowhere. So just be mindful that as you grow, as you prosper, as you fully elevate yourself to new levels, those individuals that you thought were going to be there may no longer be there. And that's okay, because that's you shedding that fat. If God doesn't have those individuals aligned with you, your purpose, then that's okay. God knows what he's doing, right? Nadine, what were you going to say about that?
I said, that's okay, because I've encountered that too. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're not made for everybody, honey.
No, not at all. Not at all. And if anything, some of those individuals could be your crutches, because sometimes if they don't fully support you, they don't fully align with you, then guess what? They might be holding you back from your purpose, from your vision, from your dream. And you don't want that either. You want people that are going to be in your corner, supporting you, making sure, and vice versa, because you want to support them too, right? It's all about love and respect. Also, you can't heal in the same environment where you got sick. That's a little deep there. That is true. And I'm going to give a quick shout out to the author. I'm pulling these quotes from. The book is called Stop Letting Everything Affect You by Daniel Chidiac, Chidiac. And this person has a lot of those important quotes there. The longer you stay on the wrong train, the more expensive it is to get back home. I know. When I read that one, I was like,
that's a good one.
Sometimes your value isn't seen until your absence is felt, which is true. It's that saying, you don't know what you had until it's gone. Yeah. And once you realize that you're gone, right? And that person's trying to knock at your door, like, nope, bye. Stay right there. See ya. We ain't got time for this.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
I agree with that one. That's so true. Yeah.
Just like the grass is not always green on the other side. They left and want to come back, whether it's friends, relationship, and then they try to come back. Toodles.
That's true. This one right here, it really is one of my favorites, I would say. Never make the mistake of assuming the person of peace is an unskilled warrior at war. Because just because that person is at peace, you don't know what they're about. You don't know what they're about. Like, it's like you don't want to mess with them just because they're at peace right now. It's like the Hulk, right? The Hulk is all nice and fragile and friendly, but once he comes green, he's like, rah, the monster's gonna come out. Yeah, we don't want to mess with that one. I'm good on that.
I agree, and I agree with that, sis. And I believe that most people that are at peace, it's because they have been in war, right? They have been those great warriors, and they know, like, this is not the place I want to be, where I want to stay, but I need to get that. So they work hard, fighting the wars and all that stuff to be able to get to that peace. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Because you've been through so much, you don't want that to be your life all the time.
Yeah, but remember what I've said before, because we touched on this topic briefly before, where where some people, they come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Remember, relationships, friendships, they're like trees. You have the branches, you have the root, and then you have the leaves, right? If they're not rooted to be around you, then they serve their purpose. They change every season, they're gone, they fall off. Guess what? But the root is always going to be still there. So the root is going to be your village. It's going to be the people that support you. It's going to be the people that stay around regardless of what happened. It's going to be the people and the friendships that's always going to be in your lives regardless of what you're going through. It's not going to be hot today, cold tomorrow, or they're wishy-washy. I mean, I'm so tired. Well, not now, but I was so tired of calling people and trying to stay connected with people who, I'm a firm believer of the line crosses both ways. I could call you but so many times, but if you stop responding or if you don't call me back, then bye. Have a good life. I wish you well, but it is what it is. You outgrow that person. Or sometimes people think that they're better than you, so they just want to, leave you alone, leave you be. But guess what? Some of them stick around just to see what you're doing.
I'm so glad you said that, sis, because I'm gonna be honest, that recently happened to me. And at first I was feeling some type of way. So I'm gonna be very high level because I don't want to mention any names, but I have a relative who I hadn't seen in years. And I had given them a heads up that I was going to be in town because the play that I was a part of with Alzheimer's Association was only 15 minutes away. It was free. All they had to do was literally just drive over. That's it, because I had the tickets reserved and everything. So the day came. And there was 2 individuals that I invited from my family. They were telling me, oh yeah, we're going to come. We're going to show up. One it was a no call, no show. The other one called and said that something came up, and it was like literally last minute. And me being me, I was like, that's interesting, right? Like, because I know that we hadn't seen each other for years. I would have made that effort, especially because they were sounding like they were going to make the effort. So I was feeling a little, like that word I used back in the day, a little salty. I was like, well, damn, okay. But nevertheless, a few months pass. Now they come back knocking at my door asking for money for some fundraiser for their child. And I'm like, so what I did, I was like, you know what? I'll be happy to share the link, which I did. I did my part. Me? Looks like on my end it froze again.
Yeah, you were frozen for a minute. I was just trying to listen. But I heard you say you did your part, and then what happened?
Yeah, and so then from there, the next thing I know, I'm like, oh, I haven't seen this individual. Like, they used to post all the time. What happened? Well, I know what happened. They unfriended me.
After you helped with the fundraiser?
I was like, okay, cool. Hey, it's all good.
After you helped,
like, you know what? I think for them, because I didn't donate, but I did share the link. And I have a lot of followers. So to me, sharing the link would be more impactful so people can see.
Yeah.
But just because I didn't voluntarily donate, that was them feeling some type of way. And so they decided to just cut ties. And that's okay.
You still help because what if 20, 30, 40 people, they purchase and they support it.
That part says, I know, and I get it. So I was like, you know what? Hey, but it's also, I saw it this way because I always pray. Me and Raw always prayed for God to remove and rebuke those individuals who are not meant to be in our lives. And those individuals were just not meant to be in our lives.
Listen,
and yes, it hurt because it was great to, be able to rekindle with family. But at the same token, it's like, if they're not going to be genuine and sincere, then I get it. That was just God's way of removing them. But it was a lesson for me as well. I learned a big lesson there too. So
that's my favorite prayer. I pray that all the time. If you're not meant to be in my life, let me know, Lord, please remove them, even if it's going to hurt me, but they're not meant to be with me in my life, keep them away from me. If they're not in alignment, like, that's my favorite prayer. If they're still here, they were meant to be. If they're gone, they weren't meant to be. There it is.
Right. Absolutely.
You don't even know and understand, Jesse, how many times that's worked for me. All the time. And they disperse like flies.
Right, because we're touched by God, and not everybody can accept that, and I'm okay with that. I've come to terms with it. Cece, do you have any thoughts with regards to that? Oh, she might be in a spot where she can't. She has a bad connection. All right, well, let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick sponsor break, and then I'll go ahead and bring our guest on, who is patiently waiting behind the scenes. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Hoy En Día TV.
At Cab Zenza, we believe beauty is a ritual, not just a routine. Rooted in intention and inspired by nature, our skincare is crafted to nourish more than just the skin. It nourishes the spirit. Every jar is made with purpose. Because when you flourish inside, it shows on the outside. Cab Zenza's isn't skincare, soul care.
From the moment that I put this Cab Zenza on my skin, it feels most amazing. As you can see, it has your skin glistening, it's moisturizing. You too should get Cab Zenza.
Luxurious body butters.
Are you looking for the perfect shirt for that special occasion? At Collective Custom Wear, we bring your vision to life. From weddings, family reunions, anniversaries, or casual outing with friends, express yourself with your unique style and leave a memorable mark. Order now. Our custom shirts are designed just for you.
A bold builder of people, purpose, and platforms, Girls with Gigs helps high performers and those desiring to achieve more shift mindsets and activate purpose. Whether it's career or leadership development, personal branding, or knowing your worth. In the job market, transformation has never been closer, because this is where purpose meets action and dreams become destiny. Book your free consultation today at www.girlswithgigs.com.
Yes, our skin is the largest organ in our body, right? This is skin. You got to take care of it, hydrate it. You don't want to walk around with dry skin, and just make sure to get that Cab Zenza, lather your body up. It's going to feel great. It's nice and silky and smooth, smells amazing. I definitely vouch for it. So order yours today. Also, for those who don't know their purpose, it's okay, because guess what? I know somebody who knows how to help you find your purpose. So go ahead and knock over at Dr. Cece's door. She will help you get aligned with your purpose. And custom shirts here. Collective Custom Wear. Order yours today, whether it's a birthday, anniversary, holiday coming up, because we're in June, but guess what? I hate to say it, but December is like literally 6 months away at this point. So you gotta start shopping early, so you don't want to break the bank. Just be sporadic with it. Get your custom made shirts, especially with Thanksgiving soon knocking around, and just all these extra holidays coming up. 4th of July in about 4 to 5 weeks. So we just have a lot going on coming. Get your custom shirts regardless of the occasion. So yeah. Awesome. All right. So let's go ahead and introduce our special guest. So this amazing guest is an engineer, educator, attorney, and former Army officer whose career spans in psychology, law, engineering, and student mentorship. He is managing member of the Thornburg Institute and recently completed his PhD in psychology at Kaiser University, where he now volunteers as a mentor to graduate students navigating research design, thesis, and dissertations. His teachings His teaching experience includes undergraduate instruction in business at North Carolina Wesleyan University and mentoring first-year law students at Elon University School of Law. Now, before transitioning fully into education and research, Dr. Rowell built a distinguished legal career as an intellectual property and registered patent attorney. He served as a partner at Womble, Carlyle, Stanbridge, and Rice, LLP, where he advised corporate clients on patent, trademark, copyright, trade secrets, and licensing terms, and managed complex domestic and international patent portfolios. His earlier profession works include roles as a financial advisor and qualified supervisor in the securities industry, as well as 16 years as an engineer with Carolina Power and Light Company, where he worked in nuclear licensing, regulatory affairs, and independent assessment of nuclear operations. Wow, already. I'm not even all the way done, and this is amazing, right? Dr. Stu holds a PhD in psychology, a JD summa cum laude from NCCU, North Carolina Central University School of Law, where he graduated as a valedictorian, and a Master of Science and Management from North Carolina State University. He is also a graduate of United States Military Academy at West Point and served as a commissioned officer in the U.S. Army, United States Army, serving with the 82D Airborne Division, 2nd Infantry Division, and 1st Cavalry Division. A committed mentor, a lay minister, he has completed education for ministry through the University of South and serves as both a Stephen minister and a Stephen minister leader. Across every chapter of his career, Dr. Rowell, Dr. Stu, brings a deep commitment to teaching, intellectual rigor, and the development of students and professionals pursuing their academic and vocational goals. Wow, that's a really impressive bio. There's a lot, and this is great. I'm excited to touch on this topic. So without further ado, we are going to bring on Dr. Stu Rowell. Welcome to Hoy En Día TV. How are you?
It's going to be hard to follow those other topics.
Well, we are truly thrilled and excited to have you on here with us today. You have a amazing, wow, different industry bio, very impressive. In a nutshell, who do you say you are?
Who do I say I am? I'm just Stu. But I was reading North Carolina House Bill 1232 while you were talking about it as a North Carolina attorney.
Okay. So what are your thoughts about that? Let's dive a little bit deeper into that. I'm curious to see what your thoughts are.
It was just introduced by a single representative in the state, so it has to go through the General Assembly, and then it has to be voted on by the General Assembly, and then have to go before a general election. So it's got a long way.
Gotcha. Now, I didn't have a chance to really do research from the sponsor who even proposed this. I'm not sure if you know who
it was proposed. It was proposed by North Carolina Republican State Representative Keith Kidwell from the eastern part of North Carolina. Under the language of the proposal, any healthcare provider who performs. This is kind of a summary of the language. Mm-hmm. This is just an article. Under the language of the proposal, any healthcare provider who performs an abortion or terminates a fertilized egg could face severe legal consequences. This is just a kind of an interpretation.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's interesting.
He argues that the measure is necessary to protect unborn life. If approved by the General Assembly, the amendment would be placed on the ballot for voters to decide during the next general election. So, it's got a ways to go. This is just one person's introduction of a bill.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This is just one person's introduction of a very controversial bill.
Right. And just the fact that that individual has enough power to even introduce a bill like that is interesting to me.
It's going to be very interesting in North Carolina this election cycle to see what's happening.
Right, I agree. That's why I always, well, not always, periodically throughout the show, I definitely advocate to midterm elections and making sure that individuals are coming out this November to vote, right? Because midterm elections are definitely coming up. They're important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes, it's kind of hard to hear you. I can hear feedback. I don't know if it's because you're on Instagram.
Yeah, I can hear feedback on my end too. Let me put Dr. Stu on me real quick to see. Okay, so it looks like it might be on Dr. Stu's end. Do you have the live session feed on the background, Dr. Stu, by chance?
It says you have me muted.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. Nadine, does it sound better on your end?
Yeah, it sounds better.
Okay, perfect. Okay, awesome. All right, so your career touched on psychology, law, engineering, military service, education, ministry, and mentorship, Dr. Stu. For those meeting you for the first time, how would you really describe who you are, your work today? Like, because you've done a lot. So how would you come and describe yourself and all of your work and what you've done?
I'm still a work in progress. I guess I would describe myself as a lifelong student. I've gone across an entire spectrum. I started off probably in my younger years. I was very technically oriented, very analytically oriented. That's why I started off probably in engineering. As I have progressed through my career, I've become more less analytical, more. I'll say more. Just less. Everything doesn't have a formula. I grew up thinking everything had a formula. Everything had an answer. Everything could be solved with an equation. And life is not that way. I remember when I was in graduate school at NC State, and I was working a problem in finance, and I checked the answer in the back of the book. My answer was all about 6 cents from the one in the back of the book, and I raised my hand and asked the professor, why was my answer was not right. Didn't agree with the book. She said, Mr. Rowell, are you by any chance an engineer by trade? And I said, yes, ma'am. Why? She goes, well, that's your problem. Well, why is that a problem? She goes, because you're trying to be too precise. Well, 6 cents is 6 cents. She goes, you're just trying to be too accurate. And so I've learned over I guess she had a point, but back then everything had to be precise. And I've learned that everything in life is not precise. We're not precise. We're not precise humans. And we all have our character. We all have our character defects. And we're all unique, and we all have great things about us. We all have wonderful things about us, and I think we're all works in progress. That's why I think all the things that I've studied and still continue to study, I'm learning every day. I learn something new every day.
That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So I'm just curious, with all the industries that you are a part of or have been a part of, the why behind your transition for jumping, transitioning from one career to the other. And I know you shared earlier that you love to learn, which is a beautiful thing, but was there anything other than just the love of learning?
Yeah, I mean, the subject matter, yes. I had always been interested in law. So that's why I decided to go to law school. Back, well, a number of years ago. It's been a number of years ago now. I look back and it's been more years than I can remember. But yeah, I'd always had an interest in law. And then, from law school, after spending a number of years in law school, it got me more interested in just human behavior and psychology, and just how humans behave and why they behave the way they do. And so that's why I got more interested in psychology and mental health. And so that's why I chose to pursue a degree in psychology. And so that's why I ended up going to Kaiser and pursuing a doctorate in psychology. And I've always enjoyed reading. I've always enjoyed writing. So, editing seemed to be a nice fit after that. So Thornbrook is something that I started with another one of my classmates. And we've been doing that for almost a year now. And we enjoy doing it. It's helpful, and again, it's something that we learn something new every day that we didn't know.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing that, for sure. Also, I wanted to ask you too, before I pass on the baton to Nadine, many people feel like they are too far in to change direction. What advice would you give someone who feels that they're called to pivot, just like you have, but they're just afraid to start over because they're just too comfortable with what they know?
I don't think it's ever too late to change direction. I'm leaning towards mental health right now. I can tell you that I know someone right now who is 70 years old, who is starting a master's program in clinical mental health counseling at 70. Okay. I can also tell you that there are mental health advisors, mental health counselors who started in their 60s. And I just saw just this past week where a gentleman just got his bachelor's degree and he's 85 years old. So, and then I can remember when I started graduate school at NC State when I was in my 30s. And I heard people in their early 20s going, I'm just too old to go to school. So it's a mental state. It's not a physical state. It's not a biological state. It's a mental state. It's as long as you're physically healthy enough to do it. Mentally, it's just a mental. If you decide mentally you want to do it, you can do it. You've got the drive to do it. I mean, assuming that you've got the resources to do it, you get the resources to do it. That's also a big factor. But I don't think it's ever too late to try to change direction.
Thank you for that feedback, for sure. And
also, I don't think it's ever too late to change direction, to do something that's different, that's just in the opposite. If you've got, if you're an engineer and you decide that you want to do something that's very, 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 very simple, you know, just for a change in, in lifestyle. I don't actively practice law right now. And there's a reason I don't do that. And it's a lifestyle. It's for lifestyle reasons. It's not for money. It's just for purely how you want to live.
Right, absolutely. Now, offline, you had shared with us before we went live, and I noticed it wasn't in your bio, that you also at one point in your career did women's apparel. Is that my understanding? And tell us more about the women's apparel.
That's true, yes. I did, as a patent attorney.
Okay, awesome. That's interesting. So let's.
This as an attorney, when I got close to graduating from law school, because my background is in engineering, when I got close to graduating from law school, my wife asked me one day, she said, how many patent, I came home one day from work, and she said, how many patent law courses have you taken? And I said, none. And she kind of looked at me and said, like, why not? I said, I just happened. And she said, kind of like, are you stupid? And I said, maybe. And she goes, well, you've got an engineering background. Why don't you take patent law courses? Because if you're an engineer, you can be a patent attorney. I said, I know. And she said, well, why haven't you taken patent law courses? This patent. And she looked at me again, I'm like, are you stupid? So I just hadn't. And so there was only one patent law course offered when I was in law school, and I had not taken it. But so it turned out that after I graduated from law school, I did end up getting a job with a patent firm, but I'd never taken a patent law course, and so I had to learn patent law at a firm. And so then one of the requirements to be a patent attorney is you have to have an engineering background. So I had to take a separate bar exam for that with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, patent bar. And I passed that. And it just so happened that my firm represented some clients that did apparel. North Carolina is a big state for apparel manufacturing. And so I ended up doing cases for apparel, for clothing. Yeah, because clothing is patented. And I did a lot of it. And I did special kinds of apparel.
Okay, awesome. Very interesting. Thank you for sharing that with us, for sure. I'm going to go ahead and pass on the baton to Nadine for questions. I do have a couple more, but I'll pass on the baton to Nadine, see what she has to ask.
Yes. Wow, Dr. Stu, you've accomplished so much professionally, but personally, what achievement means the most to you and why, like, in your personal life?
What achievements? I think let's see. Graduating from military academy at West Point would be an achievement. Graduating from law school, graduating from Kaiser.
Wow.
Probably those three.
I commend you on those. That's a lot. A lot of people struggle to just complete a certificate, but graduating from all those different places and having all those degrees, that's really commendable.
It's just because and it's not because I'm a smart person. It's just the time it took.
Right.
It's just the amount of time.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So what challenges did you face transitioning from military life into the civilian world, and how did you overcome them? Because I know it's not, because I was active duty enlisted, so I don't think for some people, officers and enlisted, it shouldn't be that much of a difference. But for from your experiences, how was that transition for you?
It was probably for the first year, it was a big difference just discipline wise. Getting used to not having the same level of discipline.
Yeah. It's an adjustment, I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all the question I have. So I'll pass it over to Cece.
Yeah, welcome. So happy to have you here. So hopefully you guys can hear me pretty good. Out of all the career professions that you've had, minister, psychologist now, engineer, lawyer, all the things, which profession did you enjoy the most and why?
I enjoyed the military the most.
Why do you say that?
I think it was the most rewarding. The military was the most rewarding, just because what I found in the military was one of the things I learned was it was not the places you were, it was the people you were with. For example, I was in Korea for a year unaccompanied, back when Korea was under martial law. And but the people I was with, it was great. It was I worked with some great people. It was very rewarding. My time as an engineer was okay. Being an attorney was very tough. It was very tough, very demanding hours, very difficult lifestyle. And I'm just, this is kind of a new career now, so I don't have that much experience with this yet. But I think the military was the most rewarding.
Fantastic. So like you were talking a bit about, the attorney, the apparel, the patenting and all that stuff. Can you kind of clue our viewers into like, what is the difference between like patenting and trademarking and all of those things? And also, what are some of the mistakes that people make, right? When they're trying to get these things done? What are some of the mistakes that we kind of make when we're doing these things? And we want you to kind of help us to avoid some of these things.
In patenting and trademarking and all that, okay. Yeah, patents are for products, for things. Okay, they're for useful, novel things that have a purpose. Okay, mousetraps, pieces of clothing, tangible objects. They can be processes, but usually they're, computers, cars, mousetraps, lamps. They're tangible things. Trademarks are names, but they can't be like business names. Trademarks are usually real fanciful names like Nike. They're usually not business names, but they're going to be some name that's kind of unique. Okay. Copyrights are things that you're going to write. Music, a book, literary works. We've copyrighted, designs can be copyrighted. A mirror design can be copyrighted. The furniture designs can be copyrighted. See, trademark, patents, trademarks, copyrights, and then of course trade secrets or formulas and things like that, like the Coke formula for Coca-Cola that you don't want anybody to know. But yeah, trademarks are usually things that you want to, you know, your the name of your program, okay? You may want to trademark. You know, you may want to trademark it so that nobody else can use that anywhere else. I've trademarked some names so that somebody else in the country can use it. You know, name like McDonald's, Food Line, companies like that. Okay, those are trademarked. Like I say, Nike. Logos are trademarked. Okay, you can trademark logos, colors, you know, pictures, things like that.
Now, let me ask you this about the trademarks, right? So the trademarks that, we're getting here in the U.S., are those only specifically for the U.S.? Like if you go overseas and somebody
Yes.
has like your business name, it doesn't really
Just in-
count. Can you do the international trademarks as well?
Just in the U.S., but you can get international trademark protection. Yes, because it's like you can get international patent protection. But in the U.S., when you patent something in the U.S., it's only protected in the U.S. So outside the United States, it's not protected. But I have patented a lot of products like apparel. I have patented it in a number of other countries. Like in Europe, I patented a lot of products in Europe as well.
So let me
I'll follow the
let me
international.
ask this question.
Mhm.
Let me ask this question. Once it's trademarked or patented, I know with patents, right? There's like a life. It's not for a lifetime. It's for a certain time frame. Is that the same for trademarks, or is trademarks that for the life of the company or the brand or whatever it is?
Patents utility. There's three types of patents. With patents, you've got utility patents, you've got design patents, you've got plant patents. Utility patents are patents for products that are useful. Okay, like a mousetrap. Okay, something that has usefulness. Design patents are patents that a good example of a design patent are, you've seen in theaters, the line control devices they set up, or in airports, the line control things they set up to make you go up and down, control the lines going up to the kiosk and those. Okay, if you ever look on top of one of those, you might see a number and it'll say D and then a number behind it. That's the design patent. The only thing that's protected is the way it looks. Not what it's useful for, but just the way it looks. And then there's plant patents, which are unique. They cover plants, unique, varieties of roses or whatever, bushes, things like that. Then they're good for patents are typically good for 20 years from the filing date. Trademarks, you can keep a trademark going as long as you have it in use. So as long as it doesn't go stale. So as long as you keep using it, you have to renew it periodically. Every few years, you have to show that you're continuing to use it. So you can't let it go. You can't quit using it. You can't let your product, like you can't say you have a product you're making and suddenly you discontinue it for 10 years and then quit making it and then decide to use it, start making it 10 years later, because that wouldn't be fair to hold the name and not let somebody else use it. Now, you can have the same trademark, you can have the same name for multiple people can have the same name for something, or have the same name for a different product. as long as they're not confusing. Like I could have the same name. I could use the same name for Tide. Tide has the name for detergent. I could trademark the name Tide if I wanted for candy, as long as nobody was using the word Tide for candy. Because nobody's going to confuse Tide for candy. Okay.
Gotcha. This is great information. This is amazing information. So my last question is like, what is advice that you would give to someone, right, that's trying to like do the patent or trademarking on their own? Like, what are some of the mistakes that you typically see when we try to, DIY it ourselves? And do you recommend, right, that we should go to attorneys to have this done for us?
I would say if you're going to if you want to patent something, if you're interested in patenting something, it's worth talking to an attorney. If you want to patent or trademark something, it's worth talking to an attorney. If you want to try to copyright something, really, that's something you can do yourself. Again, if you're interested in patent, trademarks, or copyrights, you can always call me. I can get you started. Okay. I can point you in the right direction. I've helped a number of people just, sometimes it's as easy as saying, I don't think you got anything. In some cases, it's just helping people start their own search. Start doing your own search or help you do your own trademark search. And I can show you how to do that. If you're looking for a name, I can show you how to do a trademark search. Filing a trademark application is not that difficult, and it's not terribly expensive. And I can show you. I've done that. I did that for a friend a couple years ago. So, I can show you how that's done. So if that's something you're interested in, just give me a call.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, Susie. Any follow-up questions for Dr. Stu?
No, we're good. We're good.
Awesome. Yeah, Dr. Stu, thank you for sharing that, because I was doing my research on trademarks, and it's interesting that the filing fee currently is $350 per class. And then I agree with you. I am in the process of trademarking Hoy En Día, and then Slay the Scene Academy, which is a coaching and mentorship academy that I have for acting and modeling as well. And they are considered two, even though they're under class 41, they're still two separate trademark filings. And so it's interesting how between year 5 and 6, I would have to do the maintenance, like you just shared earlier, where you're checking in, saying, hey, I'm still using it. And then by year 10, you have to refile based on the research that I've done. Is there something different that I should be mindful of, or does that sound pretty accurate based on my research?
No, if you haven't used it yet, you probably read about intent to use. If you're not using it,
currently using it, yes. Currently,
if you're using it, you have to have a specimen, right?
Correct. Yep, that is correct. Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. And and once you start using it, you'll want to continue to use it, continue to mark everything. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for confirming that. Yeah. That the specimen part was interesting to me.
And again, you're free to get my number, and if you have any questions, please give me a call.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Definitely. I do have a follow-up question regarding your mentorship, though, because I found it impressive how now with all that you do, you also find time to help graduate students with their thesis and dissertation. And I understand that process can be overwhelming, right? So you now volunteering as a mentor to these graduate students and helping them with their thesis and dissertation. What are some of the most common struggles that you see with those students, and then how do you help the students move through them?
I think that, and Chandra could probably answer this. I'm sure she can answer this as well. But I think that one of the biggest things that people face is getting into dissertation and not realizing just what they're facing when they get in. I mean, just how much time is consumed in doing a dissertation. And then I never realized that you had to have your dissertation edited. Nobody told me that beforehand, that I had to have somebody read it. And, it's like, you mean I have to take it and pay somebody to now read it again and edit it? And, but you do. So it's a year-long, easily, at least a year-long process. And I know people write, when you're going into the dissertation process, there's some obvious stumbling blocks that people get into. I think students make the process harder than it has to be. When they go into it, they pick a subject, and they'll end up with more research questions and more hypotheses than they have to, because they think that they have to make it look really good. But what they're doing is they're making it really a lot of more work for themselves than they have to. And each one of those research questions and hypotheses is adding a lot more work than they have to do. And so you don't have to do that. You can make it, you don't have to make it as hard on yourself as some people do. You want to use, measures that are already existing, that have already been well validated out there, that there's already been a lot of research done on them. You don't want to create your own measures that you have to validate yourself. So there's some things you can do to save yourself some time. Did you want to add anything to that?
It looks like Sandra, her connection must have got lost, because I don't see her anymore on the call with us here. But with regards to that as well, and just kind of piggybacking, just throughout the whole interview that we've had with you, and thank you for being on here with Hoy En Día with us today. Since you've done so much, I'm just curious to see what's next for you, right? What's next for you, what you're doing, especially your Thornburg Institute as well. And feel free to talk more about that as well.
Well, we're really hoping to branch out. We also have the capability to do legal research, and hope to do some legal consulting and doing some work as expert witnesses. Because I am licensed here in North Carolina. My dissertation was in the area of addiction, so that's an area that I'd like to help in. As far as hopefully in the court system. But we're hoping to expand. There are a number of universities in this area. We'd like to grow. We'd really like to help bring on a number of students who are actually working on dissertations, who would like to learn the dissertation process and work at the same time. Who would like to learn the editing process while they're working on their dissertations, so that they can, actually, possibly earn while they learn to do their own dissertations. And we think that would be a good opportunity for them.
Absolutely. It'll help them get real life experience, especially if they don't already have experience with working, right? That'll be a way for them to work and earn. And so I like that. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're coming to a close. We're going to pivot over to our last minute words. This is an opportunity for you to remind the viewers and listeners who you are, where they can find you, if they want to work with you, reach out to you, how, right? If there's anything that we didn't ask before that you want to say now, feel free to do that as well. And so for you to get an idea of how that process goes, I'm going to have Nadine start us off. We'll have Cece go second. I'll have you go third, Dr. Stu, and I'll close out with and my coach.
Yes, so my name is Nadine Barton, as you see on the screen. You can find me on Facebook here or on Instagram, as you see, NADIAB_1202. And if you'd like to purchase any of my books, you could go to my website, nadinebarton.com. If you like my luxurious body butter, go to Cabzenza, CABZNZAH.com. Like I always say, life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react. So treat people kind.
I love it. And hey, I'm your girl, Sandra, Inspired for Purpose and Growth.com. I want to say, hey, remember, however came from negative thinking. So always think positive. And as always, love and light and inspire for purpose.
Yes, you're on mute. I think she was finished, but you're on mute, Yessie.
Dr. Stu, it is on you whenever you're ready.
Okay, I can be located at, we are at www.thornbrook.org. That's THORNBROOKE.org. And I am at Dr. Stu, that's DRSTU Rowell, ROWELL, at Thornbrook, THORNBROOKE.org. And feel free to reach out. And we're also info@thornbrook.org. And if there's any information we can provide, we have a website. And you can see all of everything that we provide there. We'll be happy to send you any information you'd like. We do we do editing, we do statistical analyses, we do the whole gamut of anything related to dissertations or theses or academic research.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Wow. Very, very impressive. All right. So before I say goodbye, I'm going to go ahead and spotlight our sponsors. So don't go anywhere. Hoy En Día TV. We'll be right back.
Sponsored by Collective Wear. Available at www.yessierodriguez.com/shop and myrod-enterprise.com/shop.
Sponsored by Divine Beauty and Accessories. Watch Hoy En Día TV, Thursdays, 7:30 p.m.
Dream, explore, discover with Nadine's Travel Oasis. Your next adventure is just a booking away. From breathtaking beaches to vibrant cityscapes, we handle the details so you can make the memories. Luxury, leisure, or last-minute getaways, we've got you covered. Book today and let Nadine's Travel Oasis take you places.
Yes, Nadine's Travel Oasis will take you places. It is summertime. Well, I think it's almost summertime, right? It's not June 21st yet, but still, in my mind, because it's warm, I consider it summer. I mean, hey, summer somewhere. But nevertheless, reach out to Nadine's Travel Oasis and she will get you right wherever you want to go. She will get you. Also, shout out to our sponsor, Collective Wear, Divine Beauty and Accessories, and all of the other amazing sponsors that we have here at Hoy En Día TV. Truly, truly grateful. So thank you. For those who want to be a sponsor or a guest on Hoy En Día TV, just simply email hoyendiatv@gmail.com, scrolling at the bottom of your page or your view, hoyendiatv@gmail.com. For those who want to find me and follow me, just go on Google, type in Yessie Rodriguez, and voila, I pop up. You're going to see my social media handles, my website, yessierodriguez.com. You can also catch past episodes on Facebook, on my page, on YouTube. When I say my page is yessierodriguez.com. On the upper left-hand corner, you're going to see a drop-down select Hoy En Día TV, and you're going to find us on different platforms. So we are on Spotify, Amazon Music, Samsung Music, Apple Music. We're just in a lot of podcasts, which is great. And if you want to see us, you can see us. Just go on the YouTube, also on Facebook page, and type in Hoy En Día TV podcast, and voila, you can see us and hear us. Also, we go live Thursdays, 7:30 p.m. with reruns Sundays, 7:30 p.m. Thank you all to the viewers and listeners. And like I always say, the sky is never the limit because the galaxies are endless. Thank you for tuning in. Hasta pronto.